All right, y'all. Let's get into the 2024 BET Awards. Y'all ready? Let's go.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and I'm back again with another episode of On the Bright Side TV. Welcome back. How you doing? Hope you're doing very well. Let's get into the 2024 BET Awards, man. They just went down this past Sunday on June 30th on BET, and they were, I think they were at the Peacock Theater in LA. So yeah, everybody and their mama came out. It was a nice black ass time as always every year. So I guess overall thoughts on this year's show. I definitely enjoyed watching the show. I definitely had a good time. There were a lot of great highlights. I definitely enjoyed my time, like, for the most part. It was long as hell. It started at 8 and it ended at midnight, so it was a long ass show, but it was definitely good vibes, a lot of highlights. And as a reminder, y'all, I'll go support my Patreon. Link below in the description. On my Patreon, $3 a month, I have my exclusive videos, or I have my longer reaction videos and other exclusive videos I won't have on my channel here on YouTube. You can go check out my Patreon. So definitely go support my Patreon. $3 a month, and you'll get all my exclusive videos. So go support. I appreciate y'all. Let's start off with our auntie Taraji P. Henson, who I thought did a fairly solid job. I don't think it was her best run of, her best swing of the bat as host of the BET Awards or just, anything else she's done before. But she did a solid job. Wasn't her best, but I think it's clear that she definitely was getting drunk backstage. I think at certain points throughout the show, it was clear that she definitely was getting a little slizzy, She looked a little sloppy when she came out at certain points, but it wasn't like nothing crazy, but you could tell she was drinking a little bit. So I feel like it kind of just threw it off a little bit every time she would come back, throughout the middle, towards the end of the show. She messed up, Keith Lee and Jordan Howler, she mixed them up. She was mispronouncing people's names and was missing her mark, and then she was going off about the need to vote, which was a great thing, and I loved that energy of we need to vote, we need to learn about Project 2025 and all that, but it kind of just was given the drunk auntie the cookout vibes a little bit. And Taraji, we love you. There's no shade. We love you. I wasn't mad at it, but in terms of you hosting an award show that the whole country's watching, maybe I would have cleaned it up a little bit in terms of her energy. But I love Taraji and ain't no beef. That's my auntie. Love her down. So she definitely didn't do a bad job, but it was solid. It wasn't her best, but she still did a good job of being the host of this year's show. So shout out to Auntie Taraji. And I think overall thoughts on this year's show, I think one thing I did appreciate about the show, I don't know if I want to say this has been one of the best years of this, but I think this is definitely a highlight in terms of, I think, the diversity of blackness and artists and just the diversity of black people that was shown this year with the artists performing and just the people that were presenting and all the people who were part of the show. It was a really diverse year of just showing all the different facets of blackness. So I really appreciate it. We had country having a really nice DNA and a really nice blueprint in this year's show with Tanner Adele and Shabuzi, and so I loved country's having a major moment in the world right now, across the world. And I love how black people were definitely a part of that with people like Beyonce and Shabuzi and Tanner Adele and so on and so forth. So I love how this year's show really highlighted this point in history with the country really being having a really major moment right now. So I love that was highlighted in the show. We also have pretty much women saving the award show and women running the industry, which is so funny because it's not even just happening in the black space, it's happening in the white spaces too. But I feel like in particular, women are really running music right now. Men are still doing their thing, but women are really running music right now, especially in black music. The female, the rap girls are killing it. The R&B girls are killing it, compared to all the guys, they're really just doing their thing. And I feel like that was just shown with this award show. Women definitely saved this year's BET Awards for sure. So I love seeing all the rap girls do their thing. I feel like the rap girls really dominated this year's narrative in the show, which is interesting to think about. Not surprising, but really interesting to think about when you just think about the fact that rap girl, we are really in the thick of a rap girl renaissance, which is really cool to see because at one point it was only Nicki, or at one point it was nobody, and then back in the 90s and 2000s there was a good diverse array of rap girls out there, but a lot of times they were always struggling to kind of be at the forefront compared to the guys at that time. So it's cool to see we're at a time now where the women are really running the show when the guys are kind of taking the back seat. So it's really interesting that we're experiencing that in real time. It was beautiful to watch. A lot of R&B girls that were doing their thing throughout the show as well. We had some pop influence with Tyler and the Afro beats vibe as well. Yeah, there was just a lot of diversity in things that are happening. So I really appreciated like just all types of black people being shown, and I love when the world gets to see that we're not a monolith, and there's so many different vibes and so many different energies and things that we all contribute and bring to the table as a culture. So I really feel like this year was a really banner year for just showing our diversity and our talent. So I love that. But I will say, even though I think this was a really diverse year, I think there were two things that were really missing for me to have made, actually no, three things that were missing this year to really make this show really complete in terms of the diversity. And that was definitely the male rappers. When I think about it, I think besides Will Smith and Jaquan popping out for Shabuzi's performance, I don't think we had any other male rappers this year. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I mean, Gunna popped out for Tyler's performance. But yeah, besides, a few pop outs and, features, and Will Smith was really the only main artist that was a male rapper. And that's kind of like crazy, but not surprising because, like, let's be honest, these guys ain't giving it to us in the performance and song making space the way the girls are right now. And it is what it is. Yeah, we were definitely missing that male rap energy, which is a shame. We were definitely missing the male R&B energy. Just a lot of male energy, which was I'm not upset about because shout out to the women. I mean, I'm not a woman, shout out to the women. But yeah, it's just a shame kind of that we were missing a lot of male R&B energy as well, and I think that's just kind of again another side effect of just the kind of climate we're in, where a lot of the male R&B guys who are having success, if you're not like a Chris Brown, then you're pretty much like a emo, I don't care about women, but I'm gonna bust them down type of sad boy R&B. And I feel like the BET Awards is not really the type of venue that likes to really promote artists and songs and moments like that. So we're not, we have a lucky day, we have a Chris Brown, but not everybody's always able to come to each award show. But yeah, there was just a lot of male R&B missing this year, a lot of male rap missing, and also gospel. I feel like every year we have like a nice gospel moment. I feel like we definitely got like gospel vibes in Will Smith's performance, and maybe in some other places, maybe yeah. But that was really much it. We didn't have like a dedicated gospel performance, and I feel like that always like is the tradition for the BET Awards every year, to have like a nice gospel moment, at least one performance. If it's like a Kirk Franklin or somebody doing like something. So I feel like that was kind of missing from this year's show, but I wasn't surprised by that because there was so many things you could tell they were trying to squeeze in. But it's kind of a shame that we didn't have that traditional gospel moment that we always have every year. So those were definitely things that was missing from this year's show, but I still enjoy what we got for sure. Another thought I had on this year's show in general is I really got beef with the crowd that was there low key. Not everybody, but most of the crowd I got beef with y'all, because I really feel like the crowd was so dead throughout most of the show. I feel like I only remember a few times where I feel like the whole crowd was just like lit as a whole, and that was probably during like Lauryn Hill's performance and maybe some other places. But I feel like for the most part the crowd was so dead, and at the end of the day it's not surprising because it's a bunch of celebrities and people who are who got clout. But my thing is like with all of our celebrities and just people who end up being at these award shows, who are either entertainers and celebrities themselves or people who are like affiliated that are just there with their there with them. I really want all of us as black folk, especially when we all get together like that, like when it's one big ass cookout. I don't care what beefs are happening. I don't care who cares in the room. And I get the fact that everybody's cute, everybody knows they're on TV, but it's like I really just want my people to be more invested in just connecting to the music that's being presented and celebrated and shown and performed. Being more invested and connected to the music and just being more present in the moment, and just being less focused on looking fly and cool and too cool for school at these award shows. Like I want us to focus less on that. Like I want everybody to stop looking debonair. I mean, we all look good, but it's like everybody stop being focused on looking cool and being suave. I feel like everybody's just always on this energy of like, oh, I just wanna, okay. Instead of being like, like that's the energy I want. That's what the BET Awards are there for. We're not the Grammys, we're not the Oscars, we're not the AMAs, we're not the this is the BET Award. This is family. Like let's all like I don't care if we all looking good in our nice fits. Like let's get into the vibes. Like so I feel like this year the crowd kind of let me down. I feel like everybody in the theater was like kind of on some dead energy. I don't know if that's just the side effect of where we're at as a society post-pandemic, or I don't know if everybody was just invested in looking cute. But that's something I kind of picked up on, and I was like, yo, I really don't like that. The crowd ain't giving what I feel like it should give, especially with all these amazing performances that were happening. There was some hype moments, but I feel like besides Lauryn Hill's performance, I don't feel like I saw a lot of performances where like the whole crowd was just like and maybe that's because maybe there weren't enough performances that were like iconic and legendary. Maybe that's what it is. So I'll give grace. But I still feel like even if like the performances are all right. Like I still would have been like, like we here, we all these people here together, all these iconic people. Like let's vibe. Let's how many times a year can we all get together in one room and like really vibe to each other's like music and just be in our in our own space together. Like it's not, it doesn't happen that often. So it's like when it does happen, let's get into the vibes. Like that's me. But let me know what y'all think. And the last thing I'll talk about before I get into the performances, I think there was a couple of people who were going to perform but didn't end up happening. I don't know if there were, I'm forgetting who else it was besides Normani. I think there was somebody else who was going to perform, but I forgot who that was. But Normani, my heart is broken at the fact that apparently, she had an injury. I think it was like a knee or ankle injury that ended up having, making her cancel a performance like very last minute. And to me, this whole situation is a shame because I'm gonna get into it in my review for Normani's album, which is coming up soon. I know it's late, but it's coming. I'm gonna get into the fact that I feel like it's a shame how Normani's album rollout has really, come to be, and how it's really manifested over time. And it's a shame that, she finally gets this big opportunity to, really promote this album and promote this era, and this happens. It's like, I don't know, I feel like Normani has some juju on her. I don't know what's going on. Like somebody in the village in Africa, like, they put some voodoo on her. I don't know what's going on with Normani and her team, but I would have found a way to like pivot, like, just have her like, switch the setup or like, forget the choreo, like just her sing or something. Like I don't know why they couldn't have figured out a way for Normani to still have her slot perform something and just like, make it clear that she couldn't go all out because she had an injury, but like she's still here to like give you something. Whether, because Normani can still serve face, she can still serve a vocal, she can still serve energy. I don't feel like a broken, like an injury should have been like the reason why she didn't perform. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, y'all being too hard on these new school artists, and yeah, I get it, but at the same time, like I come up, I was born in '94. I came up in the era, in the '90s and 2000s, and even before my era of the '70s and '80s, where artists would still go up on stage. I remember there was this viral clip of Michael Jackson going on this weekend when he like had broken his leg or something like that, and he was just sitting down in this throne performing. I think it was Remember the Time. And like that's the energy I feel like we should always be on with, all these artists. Like, you have this opportunity to be an artist and to do your thing, and things happen. Sometimes things have to be canceled, but something makes me feel like Normani's performance didn't have to be canceled, and it could have just been pivoted and it could have been restructured to account for her injury. Tyla, she even has the injury that she's dealing with, but she still pushed through and performed her song Jump. Like I don't know, I'm not like mad at Normani, but I really just, I want all of the current and young artists to kind of, I don't want to say like stop being lazy, but I really want them to get more creative with like pushing through adversity and pushing through, things that are unexpected that happen. Like that's the music industry. Like things are always going to happen that you don't expect, and you have to know how to pivot. You can't just say, oh, sorry, y'all, this is canceled or this is done now, we're done with it. Like, cause it's like, no, it's like, I remember when not to, connect to her, to be honest, but I remember when Beyonce was coming up, like, Beyonce was not gonna let no little injury stop her from like performing at the BET Awards. Like she was gonna push through and figure out something. Like, so Normani, I'm not mad at you, but I really do wish you and your team had figured out a way to incorporate yourself into this year's show, because your album just came out. You're one of the most talked about girls right now in the industry, especially in the R&B pop space. You're out, you have an album to promote, and it's like I feel like a lot of people who are really tuned into the BET Awards, if they didn't know about you before, they definitely didn't after. And I feel like even if you didn't, give a full on, like, blown, full blown choreo performance, at least if you had been there, if you had presented something, like, have her just stand there in the front row. Like, Normani wasn't even in the midst of the show, and I just don't understand why an injury had to make that be the case. Like, I don't care if she was in a pretty ass gown with a boot on. Like, I don't care. Like, just like the fact that she wasn't even like in the audience, she didn't present, she wasn't there, like nothing. It was just a whole chop. She's like, sorry, I'm watching from home. It's like, Normani, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. That's my girl, so I'm really not mad at her, like, but damn, let me know what y'all think about Normani's injury and, the fact that stopped her from being at the BET Awards. Let me know what y'all think. All right, now let me get into all the performances that happened throughout this year's show. First, let's get into Megan Thee Stallion. Megan opened the show with a medley of Hiss, Boa, and Where Them Girls At, a new track off her new album, Megan. And I really enjoyed Megan's performance. I thought she was a perfect choice for the opener. I thought she did a really good job. I loved her energy. She looked great. I just loved, I just love what she brings to this modern music climate. I think she's a great addition to this musical landscape, and I love what she gave. I will say, even though I think she did a great job, sometimes I do get a little bit frustrated that I feel like sometimes, especially like in a big format like the BET Awards, I feel like Megan often focuses more on the choreography and just like looking cute rather than like really like giving it to us with the bars and rapping. And I'll definitely give her grace because at the end of the day, I feel like all artists are on that type of time these days where they're more focused on like the setup and the choreo and like all the bells and whistles instead of like really like delivering and performing the song. And that's just kind of like that's a side effect of I think our culture in general. So I'm not gonna like just put it on Megan. I feel like it's everybody. But because I feel like Megan is one of those rare artists right now that can really like, you know, beyond looking cute, beyond the choreography, beyond the outfits, like beyond the, you know, beyond the twerking, like she can really rap and give it to us. So sometimes I wish she would focus on that more, like, and not like be lazy with some bars and like skip, you know, rapping them just to like, you know, do a little something like, you know, forget the choreography. Like, you know, you have like a million background dancers. Like that's what they're there for, is to make that look organized. Like I'd rather her just like focus on like rapping and performing and going in, like. But it's not a big critique, but it's something I feel like I noticed for myself. Let me know what y'all think. But other than that, I think Megan did a great job. I thought she was a perfect opener, and it was nice to see her really have that moment, especially after all these years of what she's been through. It was nice to see her be like the marquee opening artist for this year's award show because she deserved it, period. Then after Megan performed, I'll just mention Taraji again. Taraji did her little opening monologue, which I thought was nice. She performed like her own parody version of Kendrick Lamar's "Not Like Us," pretty much called "This About Us," and I loved it. It was so funny. I love the lyrics. I love everything she was saying in the rap. It was really funny, and I love how she kind of took me back to like Monique opening the 2004 BET Awards with her performing "Crazy in Love" by Beyonce. So I thought that was like a nice little kind of like, you know, homage to that moment 20 years ago, like to the date. So I love that, and I really love what Taraji did with that song, because "Not Like Us" is like the song right now. So I feel like it was perfect, you know, song for Taraji to kind of do like a parody of, and I feel like she killed it. Oh yeah, and then she did a little segment of like where we've been at in 2024 so far throughout the calendar year. So she was like, January was Cat Williams, which is so accurate. So let me see, January was Cat Williams, and then February was Usher, you know, doing Super Bowl and all that. Love that. March was Risa Tisa and all her drama. What a moment that was. I forgot about that low key. And then April was when all the beef started this year. We had Chris Brown and Quavo, and then Drake and Kendrick, and so on and so forth. April was the month where all the beef started for all these guys out here. It was crazy. And then May, she's like, May was a blur. Facts. And then she said, now we're in June. Yeah, so I really loved that segment. And I kind of wish Taraji had more creative segments like that throughout the show. Well, she did like some other segments, but they didn't hit as hard. But I still love Taraji's energy because she's she's that woman. So shout out to Taraji. I love that segment. It was really cool. Okay, next we'll get into Victoria Monet performing On My Mama and All Right, which to me was definitely one of the highlights of this year's show. Victoria Monet, man, again, you ate it up. Victoria Monet, like y'all know, is one of my favorite artists of this time period. One of my favorite artists of my life right now. I just love her so much. I love her down. I love what she gives to the game. And I love seeing moments like this where she gets to shine and just show how excellent she is. And she took the opportunity and she ate it up. So Victoria started off with On My Mama, and I love how both On My Mama and All Right really mimics the music videos. Like I really love when artists kind of bring that. Kind of reminds me of the 2000s when like artists were really using award show performances to like really mimic their videos and really create a world around their songs. So I really love that Victoria Monet really replicated the On My Mama video vibes with the performance. I will say her vocals were not like bad to me, but I will commend Victoria for, I think, more than a lot of other artists that I noticed that night. I feel like her mic was on. It wasn't a pre-record, which I think was happening a lot throughout the show. It was, her mic was on. So I'll give her grace because she was doing full choreo, moving, transitioning, but the mic was on. Her voice did sound a little like she was kind of, like not fully thriving with her voice, but just trying to keep up with everything that was going on. But she still sounded good. So, it is what it is. But On My Mom was a nice little vibe. And then, she interrupted. She's like, all the dancers left. And she's like, oh my God, like, where y'all going? Like, what we doing? We're not done yet. And then, like, the silhouette of, like, the Michael Jackson, like, white suit, that she had in the Alright video, even though it was black in the Alright video. She had that kind of mimicking the actual Smooth Criminal video for Michael Jackson. Like, she had that, like, on a mannequin thing. And then she touched it. Lights went out. And then Kate Trinata popped up out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God, Kate Trinata. Like, that's so lit. Shout out to Kate Trinata. That's my guy. First time at the BET Awards. I think the first time at a major award show. And I love that. And then, Kitchenada pretty much introduced the transition to Alright, as he should have, because he produced it, and that song is everything. And I love that video. If you've not checked out my reaction to Alright, the video, go check it out. I just put it out recently. Love that video. She ate it up. And then pretty much, she performed Alright with her dancers, killed it. And she did 2 costume changes. The first was the white Michael Jackson outfit. She was like the shiny one, and with the hat and all that, with like the blue thing on the arm, ate it up. And then, I also forgot to mention real quick. Let me rewind. I almost forgot about the fact that Victoria Monet kind of low key messed up when she was doing the bomber football jacket trend dance thing, when you take it off and try and put it on again. She kind of messed it up a little bit during her performance, but I love how she's such a consummate professional that you didn't even notice it. You barely noticed it, so that was amazing. And then she just kept going, like the professional that she is. That's an artist right there. She just kept going. You barely noticed it. You didn't feel it. You barely noticed it. But yeah, so back to Alright. She ate this performance up in the Michael Jackson white suit. And then I remember she turned around and she went to the camera. She's like, "I'm going to make it so you never forget me." And I was like, what do you mean by that? And then lo and behold, she did a costume change, took off the suit. And then she mimicked the last part of the Alright video where she had the thready bathing suit thing on in the rain. And then her and her dancers were in that synthetic water doing the hand choreo for Alright. The dun, 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 dun. The whole thing, ate it up. And then she did a little solo thing at the end. Victoria Monet to me had one of the best performances of the night. Her energy, the choreography, her pushing through with that mic being on, just really giving star energy throughout the whole performance. Both songs were great. To me, Alright was obviously my favorite because I love that song, and I love that song is now getting pushed. I hope it does well because it deserves. So y'all go run it up. I love that song. But yeah, man. And then Coco Jones' face at the end. Coco Jones, the camera went to Coco Jones. Coco Jones was like, and I was like, word. Coco Jones was literally all of us at home. Because when Victoria was done, I was like, Victoria, what? Why are you this fire? So Victoria, you ate that up. You did your thing. Shout out to you, mama. You killed it. And then after that, B Simone did a little segment called Black Job or Not. That I thought was really funny. I really appreciated it, especially after this nonsense debate that Joe Biden and Donald Trump had, where I think was it Biden that mentioned oh yeah, the black jobs that, bro. What the hell is a black job? Well, we know what a black job is though. So they did a little segment, this person, is this a black job or not? So then she listed off some jobs, and the person was like, yeah, that's a black job. So mad funny, mad racist, but facts, and it was just mad funny. I liked it. It was good vibes. All right, next up was Sexy Red, who performed You My Everything and Get It Sexy. So You My Everything to me was definitely a chop. I don't like that song. And the performance was, the vocals was not vocal in. I said you, man, I love you, my everything. Yeah, I don't like that song. I didn't like the performance at all. But then she transitioned to, Get It Sexy. I love that song. And she had a presidential theme, sexy for president, great staging, all the background dancers that were looking like CIA agents. It was great. And then she did Get It Sexy, which was definitely a much better performance. I like that a lot more. So when it comes to Sexy Red, I will say with this performance and it's her in general, she's such a bird. Sexy Red is such a bird. But at the same time, and she's a little problematic, but at the same time, I don't know what it is about her. I have to admit, I don't know what it is about her. I still rock with her the long way. I rock with Sexy Red. I don't know what it is. She's a bird and she's problematic, but I rock with her. And to me, she's a breath of fresh air in terms of just having an artist right now who it's just being herself. She makes bops. And you can tell that she's just truly being herself. She's not trying to play up an image, or I don't know if she is. I don't feel it, And she just gives us bops. She minds her business. She do be saying some crazy wild shit, and she do be on her bird energy sometimes. But when it comes to the music, not everything is fire. Because again, You My Everything, I hate that song. But when she make a bop, and she's just a fun, chill, around the way girl that I feel it's all our best friends, So yeah, I liked Get It Sexy, for the most part. It was a pretty solid performance. The only thing I will say is that even though I love her, I really do feel like she can definitely use more intention and more oomph in her performance ability. So she's still new, so I'm gonna let her rock, I'm gonna let her develop, let her grow. But for her future, I really feel like for me to, look at her as I think the legend she's trying to be, keep making bops, but when it comes to your performance ability, stop making it less of a joke and stop just depending on, twerk and really come with more intention and more oomph and your performance ability. And I feel like that's what I want from her for her to take it there. But other than that, performance, not the best performance of the night, but it was solid for what it was. But yeah, You My Everything is a chop. I hate that song. Next up was the Shine a Light segment that was presented by Colin Carter, one of the most iconic stylists in the game right now. He's a stylist to pretty much all the rap, pretty much every other rap and R&B girl right now. Shout out to him. He presented I think it was 4 or 5 or 6, up and coming black designers, and he presented them and showed their actual designs, examples of their designs. And I love that segment. A really short but really cute segment that I really feel like was a great way to really promote, really just a good way to show intercommunal promotion of brands and businesses. So I really loved that. All the designs look fire in my opinion. I really thought it was just a great way to really just highlight those designers and what they're doing and just that space in general. So yeah, shout out to that segment. Really loved it. And next up we had Van Van, who I've never heard before, but she was so cute, and Harris, T.I.'s youngest baby, T.I. and Tiny's youngest baby. They performed a song called Be You that was so cute. I loved it. They had this little speaking of diversity, we had kids performing at this year's show, which I don't think we've ever had before. So that was another thing that added to diversity this year for sure. To have these 2 little babies just performing their song was so cute. They killed it. They chewed. They ate it up. And I really loved how they really just showed that they're both stars. That song was great. Van Van was rapping. Harris was singing. They had great chemistry. They were peanut butter and jelly. I think Van Van was in the yellow. Harris was in the pink, and they had a bunch of kids. They had one little kid that's the DJ in the back. He was doing this thing. He said, and he was so cute. And then all the little background dances as kids as well. They were in a school setting. They were all in a classroom, behind the desk. It was so cute. Be you, be you. It was so cute, and I love how they brought this innocence and this refreshing sense of just a reminder, no matter how old you get, be you. To hear these kids just singing and rapping that mantra, I loved it. It was so cute. Shout out to Van Van and shout out to Harris. Y'all killed it. Y'all ate it up. Y'all are stars. And shout out to the babies. The future's in good hands. Next up was Will Smith, who had a somewhat surprise performance. It was announced, but I was surprised when I heard it. That he was gonna be performing on the BET Awards because he don't got no new music out, but he performed a new song that just came out recently called "You Can Make It," and I really enjoyed his performance for sure. The stage design ate down. I loved. He was in a ring of fire, kind of give this rocky, fiery volcano vibes. Really gave this dramatic cinematic look that I loved. And then behind him, he had the Sunday Service Choir, and what was his name? I think Friday or Chandler Moore or something like that. One of those guys. So yeah, that performance was amazing to me. I'm not gonna hold you especially soon as the choir came in, I low-key got chills. I just really loved that performance, and in my opinion, Will Smith definitely gave one of the best performances of the night in terms of his actual rapping ability and just the meaning of the moment in the song. I think to me was one of the best highlights of the night for sure. And then towards the end, Kirk Franklin came in, perfect seasoning for that performance. I feel like Kirk Franklin was the perfect person to come in and really just add his own sauce to that performance and that song. With his vocals, so I loved it. That was kind of the one somewhat gospel moment that we got on throughout the night. It wasn't by a gospel artist, but it was a gospel moment. So we did kind of get a little bit of that. So thanks to Will and Kirk for kind of bringing that vibe in a little bit throughout the show. So regardless of how you feel about Will post slap, I don't think you can give it to him that wasn't a great performance and a really great song. So yeah, shout out to Will Smith for that moment. Loved it. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Next up, I want to quickly mention Tanner Adele. They gave Tanner Adele a Nissan amplified stage slot, which I loved and she definitely deserved. She's a new and upcoming black country singer that I really have not tapped into her music like that, but I really like what I see, and I'm looking forward to tapping into her music in the future and seeing what she'll do. She performed 2 songs, Buckle Bunny, which is one of her biggest songs that I've heard before. I've heard her perform before, a really cute song. She did Buckle Bunny, and then a new song that I think is called Cowboy Break My Heart. Really like that song a lot, and I know it's a new song, and I'm like, wow, I actually like this. It made me want to tap into her music because it's a really good song. So at first she was in a Nissan doing a little bit of Buckle Bunny, and then she came out the Nissan, did the rest of Buckle Bunny, and then she transitioned into Cowboy Break My Heart. And I like that, even though she was an amplified stage performer, BET didn't cut off too quickly, which I appreciated. They let her get her shit off for a little bit before they cut to commercial, and they let her have a good amount of both songs being performed. So they definitely cut her off at some point, but she was performed for a while before they cut her off. So I love that because you really got to enjoy both songs and really get into her vibe for sure. So I loved it. And I'll say with Tanner that I really enjoy her look, and I feel like her stage presence is crazy. To be honest, like to be such a new artist, I'm not sure how long she's been really doing it, but she seems like she's a pretty new artist, and her look is crazy. Her stage presence is crazy, and I feel like her potential feels like it's off the charts once she gets the right songs. Like once she can get songs that feel like they can be, enjoyed to and connect, that can connect with the general audience. I feel like she'll be unstoppable. She has a great look. She kind of gives you like a country Beyonce, like with just her look and feel and like potential. Like to be honest, and Beyonce's her idol, so I hate to like connect her, but she gives like a country version of Beyonce. They kind of look similar, have like a similar vibe, but you can also tell she has her own artistry that she's trying to hone in on. So I'm looking forward to seeing her develop. I can't wait to see what she gives in the future. But I'm gonna have my eye on her because I like her a lot. So shout out to Tanner Adele. She did a great job. Next up was my girl Glorilla, who did a medley of Yeah Glow, TGIF, love this new song, and I Wanna Be with Megan Thee Stallion. So definitely loved all moments of this performance. I loved every aspect of it. She started off kind of coming in on like a parachute, which I loved. It was so dope to see her just on that parachute coming down. Loved it. I really just loved the energy and just how this performance was coordinated. I really am proud of Glorilla. My girl is having a year. Like, can we talk about it? Like, Glorilla is having a year. 2024 has been her year so far. Like, I think a lot of people thought she was gonna be a one-hit wonder back in 2022, but here she comes in 2024. She did her thing last year too, but here she comes with, she started off the year with Yeah Glow, and then Wanna Be with Megan Thee Stallion, and now she got the new song TGIF, which is about to go up. Like, Glorilla is having a year. I'm so proud of her. She really is like in her bag right now. And I've just been loving seeing the artist development. I feel like her development as an artist has been insane over the past couple of years. Like from her look, her energy, the songs, like she's just developing so well in front of our eyes. And it's so beautiful to be watching, to see where she started from to like where she's at now. It's so dope to see. She really had such an improvement on this performance compared to what she did last year. Last year was kind of a chop, but this year she really killed it. She ate up all 3 songs, and I just love seeing it. I will say, I think she could definitely still use a little bit of work on her breath control. But for the most part, I'm so proud of her for how she's been developing, and just for like everything leveling up around her. Like, new budget. You can see like she got a budget now. She got better charisma. Better artistry. The songs are better. She got a dope stage. She got the dancers, like all et cetera, et cetera. Like everything around her is just leveling up, and it's so nice to see her like just developing so well. And I also loved how like she had like her pants rip off before she went into Wanna Be with Megan. Loved it. And then her and Megan were like twerking at the end. Go man, get him glow. Like I loved it. And her and Megan have such good energy. They've been on tour every night for like this past couple weeks, so they definitely have great energy and definitely showed on stage. And yeah, Glorilla did, she did her thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing more Glorilla in the future because she's eating it up right now. Shout out to Glorilla. She did a good job. Next up was my guy Shabuzi, who did our bar song Tipsy, one of the biggest songs in the country right now. Shout out my Nigerian brother, Shabuzi, for doing his thing tonight. I will say that I was a little bit disappointed, just a little bit, not by him, but it almost kind of felt like his mic was like a little bit low or like kind of washed out by the music. I don't know if that was just me. Let me know what y'all think if y'all watched the performance, but I really feel like, to me, his mic felt like it was either being drowned out by the music or like it was just low. Like he sounded good, but it's like I feel like I almost couldn't hear him as well as I wanted to, like his vocal. But like he came out stomping. He did a good job. He came out with good energy. He was singing, performed that iconic song, which is doing his thing. And I along with Tanner Adele, again, shout out to BET for really just highlighting this new renaissance that we're coming into of like black country artists doing their thing right now. Shout out to Beyonce for kind of leading the pack, and really bringing the vibes in. But yeah, Shabuzi did his thing. That staging was lit. He, pretty much it was like a honky tonk, saloon bar vibe with the staging. It was so dope. Probably one of my favorite stages of the night. All his dancers were like, in the country outfits. It was just like a really dope black ass honky tonk like on stage, and it was so lit to see. And then he performed his song. He was doing his thing. He started out with the guitar first. It was lit. Yeah, I felt like the staging and his energy. He looked good. Everything was just fire. And I just loved the way it was able to highlight what's going on right now with black country music. With that, with that one song, that one performance was great. And then towards the end, my man brought out Jaquan to perform the original Tipsy back in 2004, 20 years ago, which I loved. I love the intergenerational love, because, Shabuzi sampled Tipsy, so it's so dope to see Jaquan, who we've not seen in how long? Pretty much since like 04 or 05, let's be honest. But shout out to Jaquan for that iconic song that like has held the culture down still to this day. And, Shabuzi sampled it for this new song. So it's so beautiful to see 2 songs that so far hit number 2 Tipsy hit number 2 back in '04, and so far Shaboozey has hit number 2 on the Hot 100. He might hit number 1 at some point this year. I would love for that to happen, but so far he hit number 2, and it's so beautiful to see two songs that are connected to each other. They both, peaked at the same position on the Hot 100 as of right now, as of today, and to see Shaboozey bring Jaquan out, like, 2 different generations, but sharing, success from like a similar song, it's just really dope. So I love that. Shaboozey did a great job. I love Jaquan. Jaquan had good energy. He came out. They both ended the performance together. Jaquan doing Tipsy, and then Shaboozey doing a bar song, but they were like interweaving it. Loved it. It was so dope. I love seeing that. And y'all should definitely go check out Shaboozey's album. It's called Where I've Going Isn't Where I've Been, and I love that project. Such a good album. That's like pretty much a country album with like other hints of like hip hop, other alternative pop, other stuff in there, but really great album. So definitely go check out Shaboozey's project. It's a great project. And then after that, the cast of A Different World had a little reunion on stage when they're presenting an award. I forgot which one, but that was beautiful to see. And I loved just seeing them, give each other love and just talk about the fact that, their show and their legacy is still so relevant to this day. So shout out to The Different World cast. Next up was Lotto, who did a medley of what I think was a new song or like a snippet of a new song. And then Sunday Service and Big Mama. I will admit, I love Lotto, but I don't really like Big Mama like that. I do like Sunday Service. I like that song, but I don't like Big Mama. I think that's a song that just dropped recently, but I don't like it. I mean, it might grow on me, but so far I don't like Big Mama, so I wasn't really a fan of it being performed. And I thought Lotto did a really good job. To me, the performance was cute. And one thing about Lotto, like, she be rapping, and she has great stage presence, so she's always going to deliver a cute, fun vibe. She's always going to rap for you. So I don't think, in terms of skill, I really had any complaints for Lotto. I think for me, the only thing that kind of made it a forgettable performance for me was the fact that I don't like one of the songs, Big Mama, and also it just felt like she didn't really need to perform this year because she don't really have any songs that are going up right now. And that's not shade, it's just the truth. And I really feel like I would have rather that slot went to someone else who had a song that's actually connecting with the culture more, and that I feel like would have been a more useful person to have in that slot. Like, a lot of still did a great job, so I don't have any beef with the performance, but I just feel like he kind of felt like a pretty unnecessary part of the show. No shade. Like, hello, like Flo Milli, hello, Never Lose Me. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of other artists that have bigger songs that are resonating more with the world that could have been in that slot rather than Lotto. I think BT, like, they just love Lotto, and I get it. Like, I love Lotto too, but she don't need to be performing every year. Like, even when she don't have a big song out, she doesn't need to perform. So I would have rather, like, they invited someone else who has like a better song. But she still did a pretty good job. So I like the energy. She came out with dance. She was laying on the couch at first, doing a little rap ballad. Some song by her and her sister was cute. And then she did Big Mama, Sunday Service, and then she, at the end, high energy twerking. Just the usual Lotto vibes, and it was cool. I didn't hate it at all, but I was like, I didn't need it, but it was still a good performance. So shout out to Lotto. Okay, next up was Tyler. Shout out to all the Tigers out there. Tyler came through and finally gave a major performance of her new song Jump off her album Tyler. Love this song. If y'all haven't checked out my reaction and review for her album, go check it out. I love that album. And as y'all know, Jump is one of my favorite songs off that project. I love the video. I just love the song. It's such a bop. And to me, I feel like it needs to be one of the defining songs of this year. It should be, but y'all are not running it up. Like, I need. Let's move on from Water. Like, Water had its moment. Let's move on. Like, Jump is the moment. Let's get into Jump now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tyler. She did a great job. She came in on like a little swing, came down into the cages with other tigers. And I love how she had like painted dancers that like had an illusion of being like one big tiger. But then when they separated, it was like 3 different dancers. So I love that. And then, at one point, Gunna popped out to do his verse like on the side on like something. And then, Skilly Bang. Skilly Bang started the performance actually, doing his verse, obviously, doing his little intro. And I liked how the camera was like shaky. He gave a little music video vibe. I love that. Skilly Bang was cool. He did his thing. So all in all, I feel like it was definitely, to me, one of the highlights of the night. I love the performance. I love the energy. I will say my only issue, I do feel like also Tyler's mic was on, which I appreciate. It didn't sound like a pre-record. Like, I feel like Tyler's mic was on and she sounded great. Shout out to I believe she really sounded and felt like a superstar on that stage. And even though she's dealing with an injury and there was so much going on, but I feel like Tyler still held it together. So I feel like this is a girl that has so much potential. I feel like she's a star. You can see the potential there. Like, I really will have my eyes on her. Like, I really feel like Tyler can take it there for sure. She sounded good. She looked good. She felt good. And my only issue with the performance is I feel like with there being so many artists, her, Skilly Bang, Gunna, they kind of did feel a little bit disjointed, and I feel like I wish there had been more like seamless integration between all three artists. Like the way Gunna was just like to the side, and then Tyler came over to him for a little bit, but they didn't even feel like they were vibing like that. And then Skilly Bang was just like, you know, in another place. And yeah, so and then they had like a lot of breaks in the track. So I feel like even though the performance was fire, I wish they had not taken so many, like, it felt choppy at times, and I wish they hadn't like cut off the audio to like do things. Like, you know, I guess they needed moments, but I kind of wish they just like let the track play and like just kind of let the things happen. Like, I don't know, I feel like it was a little bit choppy and not as seamless in terms of like the audio and like how the artists were like working with each other. But at the end of the day, there was a lot going on, so I'll give it grace. And they still did a good job with the energy and just like the vibe in general. So it was still good in that regard. I love the staging elements. I love the painter dancers. And then she also, you know, I love how she really repped for South Africa by really bringing South Africa to the stage with like, you know, just her. I forgot the name of that dance. Like, you know, the dance she does, like water dance. It's like a traditional South African dance. And then she also had like the stilted dancers. You know, the guys that came on stilts toward the end with Skilly Bang. I loved that. So yeah, she really just brought South Africa to the BET Awards stage. She brought her vibe. You know, I love the choreography. Like, she was dancing toward the end too. She sounded good. Like, yeah, so Tyler definitely to me was a highlight. I loved her performance as well. Besides, you know, Gunna kind of and Skilly Bang kind of feeling like afterthoughts and them not being as integrated. Besides that, and besides the audio and, you know, the track kind of being chopped up for like moments and bits and all that, it was a really good performance. So I really appreciated it. And then unfortunately, they gave my girl Doechii like a 20-second performance of her new song Rocket, which I think was like another amplified stage performance, even though it was like 10 seconds long and then they went to commercial. That was foul. They did Doechii wrong because that song and her as an artist, she's so amazing. Doechii's one of the dopest artists in the game right now, and that song is a brand new song, but it's such a really cool and unique record that I really feel like people should have like really sat with them vibing for a little bit longer before it just got cut off like that. So it is what it is. And I think it was kind of like, it also functioned as like a Sprite commercial as well. So a lot of ghetto shit going on with Doechii's little slot with her song Rocket, but love her, love that song, you know, love her down. So it's a shame that she felt like an afterthought with this year's show, but hopefully she'll come back next year with like a main stage performance and moment. Hopefully that happens. Next up was Ice Spice, who performed Fat Butt and Think You the Shit Fart. Ice Spice with these titles, man. Yo, Ice Spice has never beaten these allegations of her having a scat fetish. She's not beating these allegations anytime soon. But yeah, man, so and I think it was hilarious and also kind of sad that like it feels like nobody was standing up for Ice Spice's performance in the crowd, like especially at the beginning. It feels like nobody was like hyped to see her perform, like nobody cared like that. I think towards the end maybe some people were standing, but yeah, so that was kind of sad, but it is what it is. But yeah, but to be honest, I really, besides Fat Butt being a whack song, I really honestly feel like Ice Spice did a pretty good job in all metrics, in my opinion. Like in terms of like, you know, how she sounded, how she looked, the choreography, her staging and blocking, her energy. Like, I feel like Ice Spice did a pretty good job in all metrics, especially for Think You the Shit Fart. Fat Butt, I think because it's a whack song, so it was hard for me to like that performance, but she still did a good job throughout her performance. I'm not gonna lie. I really am seeing artist development happening behind the scenes. Like, you can tell she's working behind the scenes. Like, she's working to like not to prove the haters wrong and to not be seen as like just a pretty girl that, you know, it's just like out here making mid music and having mid performances. Like, she definitely still needs to make better songs, and I think that's like one of the things I pray for her for. Like with Ice Spice, I pray for better songs, more interesting flows, and less dependence on her cakes, you know, as like, you know, to like, you know, be the main attraction for her performances. Like, you know, she has a nice set of cakes, you know, she can twerk, she can, you know, use them to her ability, and that's fine. But, you know, as she moves forward, because I feel like she could really take it there if she wanted to, in terms of like if she gets better and actually has better songs and actually works on her craft, she could really take it there. That's what I'm hoping for her to do, is just to take it more serious. Like, stop depending on your ass for every performance. You know, start having more interesting flows, have better songs that are actually really good songs, and not just like Think You the Shit, not even the fart, Fat Butt, and the fat, you know, if she can get all that together, I feel like she could take it there. But in terms of this performance, I really feel like it was solid. You know, besides Fat Butt being a whack song, I really feel like she did pretty good. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like social media wasn't giving her things, and I get it, but I really feel like she did a good job. Like, I don't really feel like I feel like the mic was on. She was rapping. Her performance, like her stage presence, was pretty good. Like I feel like she was on it. And I almost feel like she has something to prove with this award show performance. I don't know why. I don't know what it's about. But you know, her album's coming out next month, so I feel like she's in like prove to the world that I'm not a fluke mode, and I love that for her because that's what time she should be on right now. So I think she did a good job. I think what didn't help was the fact that she was performing songs that are like whatever. But I think she did a pretty good job within herself. So I'm proud of her. And I thought her performance was decent. Definitely not one of the highlights of the night at all, but it was still decent for sure. And then one of the biggest moments of the awards that we were all waiting for was the tribute to Usher. Usher Raymond, AUSHERRAYMOND. Let me tell you what you want to be. Shout out to Usher for his tribute and for his Lifetime Achievement Award from BET this year, which I think was definitely deserved. I would personally waited a couple years because I feel like there's other people who probably like, you know, like a Stevie Wonder, so on and so forth. But, you know, Usher's still young. I feel like he could have waited a couple years. But then again, this has been Usher's year, so I'm actually not surprised. And it actually makes sense that it happened this year, which is fine. So, you know, Usher got his Lifetime Achievement Award. At first, it was a little video clip of, like, his career, which is so beautiful to see. All these videos and moments and performances. Like, Usher's had a career. 30 years now at this point? Insane. From 1994 to 2024. 30 years of him just doing his thing. So yeah, it was a little clip show that was amazing. And then we had the tribute performances. We started off with Childish Gambino opening up with kind of like a ballad version of You Don't Have to Call that I thought was really beautiful and really dope. I never really envisioned You Don't Have to Call like that before, but I loved it. It was like yeah, I loved the way he did it. It was so dope. So then after that, Kiki came in to kind of do the second part of it, continuing the ballad, but then she switched it up and she did the actual version of You Don't Have to Call. And then she transitioned into You Make Me Wanna. Childish Gambino I really liked. Random choice, but I thought I liked what he did. You Don't Have to Call. But yeah, a really random choice, but no shade. We love Childish Gambino, but really random choice. Kiki, not as random, and she did a good job for sure. I really, I loved what she was able to do for one of her idols. Y'all know she loved Usher. We already went through the whole debacle from last year, whatever. But yeah, so she got to do You Make Me Wanna. I really feel like, oh yeah, disclaimer. I feel like a lot of these performances during this tribute were pre-recorded in terms of the vocals. I might be wrong, but I don't know if I'm tripping, but I feel like a lot of them were pre-recorded, which is not a bad thing, but I just want to mention it because I feel like a lot of people were trying to like give credit to these girls for like, oh, she ate, like in terms of like the vocal, but it's like, no, I think a lot of these girls have pre-records. I might be bugging, let me know if y'all think I'm bugging, but I feel like a lot of them are pre-recorded, and Kiki's is included in that. I feel like Kiki sounded like a pre-record to me that she was just lip-syncing to while performing, which is fine. Because she still sounded good with the pre-record. But I just wanted to mention that because I don't think every girl was singing live, to be honest. I think the only people that were actually singing live during the tribute, in my opinion, were Marsha Ambrosius and Coco Jones and Marsha, Coco, and I think Tinashe might have been singing live. I think, but we'll see. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, I think everyone else was a pre-record, I think. Oh, maybe Summer Walker was singing live. We'll see. But yeah, so whatever. But not a big deal. I just want to mention it for y'all. But yeah, so after Kiki did her thing, she really was doing. Kiki to me was definitely one of the highlights in terms of like her look, kind of bringing it back to like the early 2000s Usher, like that 8701 era, like that My Way era, that late 90s. Like she brought that whole vibe with the look, with the energy. She had the U chain on. She pulled her pants down. She like took off her sneakers. Like she really dedicated Usher really well. I loved those little moments, those little nuggets that she gave us. And then after Kiki, I think we had Summer Walker then do Good Good, which to me was kind of a chop in terms of not because it was bad, because it wasn't needed. Good Good, I love that song, but it's still a very new song in Usher's legacy, and I feel like it didn't need to take the space for in that tribute when we have so many other songs that I feel like we should have been highlighted, not Good Good, even though I love Good Good. Love that song. And then with Good Good, we did like 10 seconds of Usher's part of it, and then most of it was Summer Walker's verse, which doesn't make sense because it's an Usher tribute. Why would you focus on Summer Walker's verse for that song? Even though although I will admit that she's doing a much better job, and I want to commend Summer for really improving with that stage performance. Like that stage presence is really increasing. She looked way more comfortable. She was doing her thing with the dancers. Like she was moving. Like she hit her mark. She had good energy. She sounded good. Like so she was definitely getting better. And I liked her presence in the tribute, but I just feel like the song choice and her doing her verse didn't make sense to me. But she still was a vibe. So shout out to Summer Walker. And then after Summer, we had Coco Jones come through in one of the aisles, and she did There Goes My Baby. Perfect song for Coco. I really feel like that was like the perfect song choice for her. I feel like it fits her voice well and fits her vibe very well, so that was perfect for her. She did a good job. I think she sounded great. I think she was singing live. I don't think she was a pre-record, and she sounded great. She came through, was flirting with different guys and girls. Oh yeah, also this whole tribute was giving lesbianic vibes. Can we talk about it? I don't know if y'all caught that, but it was giving a whole lot of lesbianic vibes in my opinion. And I'm not against it. Happy Pride as of when the BT was aired, but it was just funny to me. But yeah, so she was flirting with like some guys, some girls in the audience, and then she went to Usher, but she flirted with Usher's wife first, and then she went to go flirt with Usher. It was just really interesting, and I think she did a good job vocally. I think in terms of, I feel like Coco could have gave more like presence and performance wise. Like she could have gave more like energy, like instead of just like doing the soft singing whatever. But then again she was doing a ballad, so it is what it is. But she sounded great though, and she looked good as well in the all black. So then after Coco did There Goes My Baby. Then we had Marsha Ambrosius come out for Superstar. And like a tiny bit of like an interlude of Confessions. You could hear the instrumental, which was crazy because that's one of his biggest songs. And they just did the instrumental for like a hot second. Crazy. They should have someone do that song, but whatever. So then Marsha Ambrosius did Superstar. I love Marsha Down. She has a new album out that I can't wait to check out. But she sounded a little bit shaky. It wasn't her best vocal. It was kind of an off tier for her. She didn't sound terrible, but she definitely didn't hit the mark like I know she could have and she should have. And that's fine. We all, every artist has their day. But yeah, so that was I just don't feel like Marsha would be someone I would think of at all for an Usher tribute. Like I love Marsha, but she doesn't give me the vibe of someone who should tribute Usher. I wasn't mad at it, and the song choice was, I don't know, the song choice maybe wasn't the best for her, and she didn't do terrible, but she also didn't kill it like she should have and could have. So yeah, Marsha was whatever. And then Chloe brought her ass out to come do Good Kisser, and that was a highlight for me because one, Good Kisser is a song that I feel like I really love in Usher's catalog, and it's not one of his biggest hits, but to me it's one of his best hits, and a song that I feel like I'm glad has gotten more love and adoration from people over time, because that song was everything. Such a breath of fresh air when it came out, and still a breath of fresh air now. And Chloe not only performed a song that I wouldn't even think would be in a tribute, but she killed it. Chloe ate it up. Another artist who I think was doing a pre-record, I think Chloe was doing a pre-record. So I don't think she was singing live, which is fine, because whether it was live or pre-recorded, she sounded amazing. Her cover, I want an actual like cover. I want the studio. I want to be able to download the version of Good Kisser by Chloe because she killed that song, and apparently she's made everyone love that song way more than they knew they did. And I love that because that song has always been good, and Chloe highlighted how great that song is. I feel like her voice fit that song perfectly, and her performance was everything, from the choreography, the dancers, the way they were staging it. Like, Chloe ate it up. That was definitely one of the highlights of the tribute, and she did an amazing job. And it makes me frustrated that Chloe and her team aren't really finding a way to like kind of get songs that are that electric and that dope for her. Like, she can perform a song that's dope and you'll realize how dope she is. But then when it comes to her own material, a lot of times it might be mid or it might be not hitting like that. Not to everybody, but to some people. And then it's like, I'm waiting for Chloe to really start making songs that are just gonna like undeniably connect with everybody. Like, I want Chloe to have her Nasty or to have her Espresso. Like, I'm waiting for her to have that song that's just like a undeniable hit to show like her potential. Like, she is everything. But I feel like a lot of people don't see her greatness until it comes time to do like something for somebody else, or some songs in her catalog, but not like so I'm waiting for that to really be the case for Chloe. But Chloe ate it up. Definitely one of the best parts of the tribute. She did a great job. And then Tinashe came out to do Nice and Slow, and I love Tinashe down. I have no issues with her, but I will say I don't feel like Nice and Slow was the best song choice for Tinashe. I feel like she still did a good job, but I don't feel like I highlighted Tinashe that well, and it didn't highlight how brilliant of a song Nice and Slow was by having Tinashe do it. She mixed in a little bit of Nasty in there, which was cute. But I just don't feel like it was the best song choice for Tinashe. I don't feel like she highlighted it that well. And I also don't think of Tinashe when I think of an Usher tribute at all. That was a really random pick, kind of like Marsha Ambrosius, a really random pick. But I wasn't mad at it. But to me, I could have done with either a different artist or maybe Tinashe doing a different song. But yeah, so. And then Victoria Monet and Tiana Taylor came out to do the Bad Girl song, pretty much the performance that Usher and Beyonce did back in 2004. I think they did it like Brazil or something like that. That iconic performance that we all know where Beyonce comes out and like dances around and on Usher. They pretty much replicated it. They mimicked it with Tiana Taylor being Usher and Victoria Monet being Beyonce. Pretty much, maybe not vocally, but in terms of the performance and the setup, the best part of the tribute. Tiana Taylor and Victoria Monet, y'all ate down. Y'all ate that up. Y'all chewed. Like, y'all killed that. The energy, the choreography, the conviction to really replicate that moment that Usher and Beyonce had 20 years ago. Like, it almost feels as iconic as what Usher and Beyonce did. Like, Tiana Taylor and Victoria Monet by themselves are two titans in terms of like performance ability, vocals, dancing, just being stars. When they came together, bruh, like they ate it up. They did that so fire. Like the sexiness, the chemistry, the performance ability, like the talent. They was on fire on that stage. They killed it. That was definitely the best part of the tribute to me. I mean, again, not so much vocally. Well, Tiana Taylor, she ate a Bad Girl, but it wasn't like a vocal powerhouse. But it didn't matter because she sounded great, and Victoria Monet was just there adding that saison, and they were just killing it. So that was amazing. Definitely to me the best part of the tribute, and it makes me seethe for like more of those collaborations between like our best girls, like a Victoria Monet and a Tiana Taylor. Like, I want more collabs between our best girls out here because we need it. You know what I'm saying? We need it. And then to end off, Lotto came out and did Yeah, but it wasn't even like really Usher's part. It was mostly Ludacris's verse, but then she did her own version of Ludacris's verse. So again, kind of like Summer Walker's version, kind of like Summer Walker's part. This was random because it wasn't even highlighting Usher's part of his own song. You were highlighting Ludacris's verse. And then on top of that, Lotto was like making her own version of it by like having her own lyrics. So it was like Lotto, like, she brought good energy, but it was just so random. I felt like it wasn't even a dedication to Usher. It felt like a dedication to Ludacris with Lotto like making it about her, and not in a negative way. Like, I know that was the intention, but it came off like that. I would have rather someone actually really, if they're gonna come and do Yeah, do Usher's part and do it well. Like, I don't get it, but. So yeah, Lotto pretty much ended it off, and then at the end, all the ladies came back on stage and like they did the last part of Yeah, like doing the different dances, the do the slide, it was cute, and they ended it off, and it was a fun vibe. But by the end, you kind of felt like, wow, this is really the tribute that they gave Usher. Like, it wasn't terrible for sure. There was a lot of great moments. Tiana Taylor, Victoria Monet, Chloe ate down, Coco gave vocals. Who started off? Kiki Palmer did her thing. Like, Childish Gambino, I loved what he did. What You Don't Have to Call. Like, there were definitely great moments in the tribute as a whole. But I think the reason why there's been so much backlash and issues with the tribute is just because I think I don't think a lot of people really had issues with the fact that it was mostly female, or pretty much all female besides Childish Gambino. I think the big issue is just the fact that it wasn't organized and really well intentioned and well thought out. Like, the fact that we were missing some songs is insane. Like, we missed Burn, we missed Confessions, we missed You Got It Bad, we missed Love in This Club. Like, some of Usher's biggest songs were not included. And I love that we had Good Kisser. That Good Kisser is the one I'm not mad at. Like, that's a song that wasn't a big hit, but I'm not mad we had that because, like, that's a great song. But like Tanashi doing Nice and Slow didn't make sense. Marsha doing Superstar, that like wasn't the best fit. Like, it just felt like they kind of were just rushing it and just put it together. Like, oh, let's just like, see what we can put together instead of like really taking the time to make sure that everything made sense and everything was done well for one of the biggest and best talents of our time. Like, we're celebrating 30 years of him being in the industry, 30 years of an amazing career, literally one of our biggest hit makers from a generation. And this is how y'all treat his tribute. Like, I just feel like BET didn't really take the time to really make it as iconic as it could have and it should have been. The artists that were involved, I appreciated all of them, and they all did a good job, some more than others. But I don't think it was the fact that, like, if it had been all women, but it had been dope across the board, I don't think a lot of people would have been as mad. But I also understand both sides of the issue of it being all female, because while I think I'm on the side of like, maybe it was Usher's idea, or maybe once they brought it to him, he was cool with it. Having an all-female tribute besides Childish, like, maybe he was cool with it, or maybe it was his idea. If that's the case, that's fire. And I actually think, low-key, it was a really ingenious idea to show Usher's impact on the generation that he impacted beyond guys. Like, Usher's been the blueprint for a lot of male R&B guys over the years, but we don't talk enough about Usher's impact on women. Keke Palmer goes up for him. Like Victoria Monet, like that that's an idol of hers. Like we don't talk enough about the impact that Usher's had on women with his vocal ability, with his stage presence, his dancing ability. Like he has impacted women, he has influenced women, and we don't talk about enough because he's a man. So I loved that this tribute kind of like really exposed the idea of Usher's impact on women, not just as them being fans, but as other female artists. Like I love that. I feel like this tribute brought that to the forefront. To me, that was the most ingenious part of having this pretty much all female tribute to Usher, right? And I love that. But at the same time, not to be sexist, I don't think it was about being sexist. I don't think a lot of people were really trying to go that way. I genuinely understand wanting, the current landscape of male R&B artists, no matter how successful, no matter how poppin' they are, to be able to tribute another male R&B icon with songs that are being sung and performed from the male perspective. So it was cute to see all these women up there, but I'm not mad at anybody that's like, I don't think it's sexist either. I just think it makes sense that it's like you want to see some of the modern R&B guys, doing the songs that Usher did, all those years ago, like in a new way. Like the women can do it too, but it's different. And I just feel like, or if anything, let's not make it all men. Like let's do men and women. But I really feel like that would have been a great compromise too. Like I had no issues with the women that were there. Like the women that were fired and that killed it, they should have been there. But maybe the women that weren't as fired and that maybe weren't as needed, replace them with male artists that would have killed it. Like I don't think this is a gender war. I don't think this is about a gender war. I think it's more so just about how the tribute was executed and how it came across. And I think because we can list so many artists, especially male, that we know would have came up there and sang and did their thing, it's a shame that we got what we got. Like for example, where was Luke James? Where was Chris Brown? That's the big one. Was Chris Brown busy? Like I don't understand why they didn't have him a part of this. Like that's his idol too, and I'm pretty sure him and Usher are still cool. So it's like, where was Chris Brown at? Where was Luke James? Where was Lucky Day? I feel Lucky Day just put an album out. Like I feel like he definitely should have been on that stage, like doing something. Like I feel like Lucky Day could have did one of the ballads, like for sure. Like he could have did one of the ballads. I could have seen Lucky Day like doing "You Got It Bad" or maybe "Nice and Slow." Like people mentioned like Avery Wilson, which I don't know if that would have worked out because Avery's still not like a big name like that, even though I love him down. But I think vocally, performance-wise, he would have killed it. Duran Bernard would have ate it up. He's still a up-and-coming name for a lot of people, even though I love him down. The only thing with Duran Bernard that's really funny is they had him like as part of the advertisements for the Usher tribute, and like I thought when I saw him in those advertisements that he was gonna be a part of it somehow, but he wasn't even there. And it's like, BT, why would y'all do that to this man? Like have him like, why would y'all exploit him like that? Like use him to promote the Usher tribute and y'all don't even have him a part of it? Like that's crazy. So yeah, I don't think to me this is really a gender war. I don't like people who are making it a gender war. To me, it's about the fact that it just makes sense at the end of the day for a male R&B singer to be tributed by up and coming or current, male R&B singers. It doesn't make sense. Women should have and were included, and they should have been included when they fit, and they ate it up, and they should be encouraged to eat it up. But I don't know why we couldn't have had like a balance of men and women. But I'm also not mad at the idea of an all-female tribute. Like I wasn't mad at that, but if you're gonna do it right. And it wasn't really done right. So I think that's the issue. If it had been done right, it would have been like, oh, okay, I would have never thought of that, but they ate that up. But because it was a little bit like whatever in some places, it's like, okay, so y'all put this whatever tribute together, but we could have had like Lucky Day or Chris Brown or this guy or that guy that would have came through and like really tributed Usher in a really dope way, So I really do see both sides. To me, I'm not really like skewed one way or the other. I don't feel like this should have been like an all male tribute, and I also don't feel like this is like an attack on men. I don't think it's I don't think it's an attack on women. People who had. I don't think it's an attack on women for people who wanted men to be part of it. I don't think it's that. I really don't look at it that way at all. And I also don't think it's an attack on men if people are offended by the fact that some of the women who were there weren't doing as good of a job as they wanted. That's not an attack on guys. That's an attack on the fact that the women that were not doing as good weren't doing as good. It's what it is. So let me know what y'all think about this whole Usher tribute debacle. To me, it's not that deep. It's just a shame that at the end of the day, the tribute wasn't as fleshed out and well intentioned and executed as well as it should have been. You know, that's the most disappointing part to me. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy that Usher got this moment to be celebrating, to smell his flowers while he's still here. To me, that's the most important part. And I know a lot of people also mentioned that it would have been honestly just better for Usher to tribute himself, and I actually like that idea. Like, you know, all the artists did a good job, but at the end of the day, you know, he just did a Super Bowl in February. He's going on tour soon. Like, I really feel like it would have been, and he's still young and kicking. Like, Married to Her tribute a couple years ago. Like, I really feel like Usher should low-key just did his own tribute. Like, not on some like ego shit, but on some like, why not just tribute your career in front of all of us at BET? Like, I feel like that would have been fine. You know, so I really feel like that would have been dope. But at the end of the day, it was cool to see all the artists tribute him, but I really feel like he could have given himself his own really dope tribute. Especially since, like, he's not old, so it's like, why not do it? But it's all good. But yeah, I definitely see both sides of this argument, but to me, it's not as deep as y'all making it. But I do feel like I would have liked to see some guys up there. I'm not really sure why BET kind of shut the guys out. Or if you're going to shut the guys out, we shouldn't have been upset about it, because we should have been like, oh, okay, you know what, there were no guys here, but all these women, they did that. Like, but no, I don't think a lot of people felt like that. So that's why we're at where we're at now, you know? And then let's move on to Usher's speech real quick. I'm going to make it real quick because we barely heard it. I mean, you can catch the full speech on Twitter and on YouTube now. But pretty much when my man Usher went up there to give his speech, he started out really cool, really sincere. And then, like, you know, a little bit of the way in, whoever was working on the audio backstage, they said, beep, 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 beep. As soon as Usher started cussing a little bit, they said, beep, 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 and they muted damn near half this man's speech. It was so tragic to watch live. You can go back and you can watch it now, like, you know, now that you can watch it unmuted, but for the first live telecast, which is the most important telecast, that's the most watched telecast, they muted half that man's speech. And it's like, bruh. Like, I know he was cussing a little bit, but it wasn't that deep. It really wasn't that deep, y'all. Like, the kids will be all right. They'll be all right. They're going to start cussing when they get of age anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was a real damn shame, but it is what it is. So, shout out to Usher for, you know, pushing through and giving that, what I know was a very, because I did watch it later, it was a very sincere and beautiful speech. Some awkward moments in there, low-key. Tamika, I'm trying. We don't need to hear all that, Usher. But besides that, like, it was a really good speech. I loved this is what he was saying. But I also was getting a lot of, like, trauma that came through Usher's speech. Like, you could tell that Usher's been done wrong in this industry. You could tell he's been through some trauma. Like, people, like, you know, people doing him dirty. Like, people not rocking with him. People trying to probably, like, you know, play with his career. Like, you could tell he was just kind of really trying to translate, you know, the idea of, like, forgiveness and, like, you know, just going through things. And it hurt my heart because I'm like, damn, like, Usher's, like, one of our best. And he's such a good guy. And it's like, to know that he's, like, you can tell he's, like, sitting with a lot of, like, pain from his experience in the industry. It's like, that's a story to oldest time. Like, we all know artists who are, like, you know, who have been through a lot of bullshit in the industry. But to see that even someone at Usher's level dealing with that, it's just like, damn, like, you know, it's just sad to see. But at the end of the day, it's good to see that he's still healthy, he's still here, he's still giving us hits, and he's still thriving. So, you know, that's the blessing. He's still here with us, and he's smelling his flowers in real time. So, period, you know. So shout out to Usher on his tribute. We love you, Usher. Congratulations on the award. Congratulations for an amazing 30-year career that's still going. Amen. And we love you, bro. Congrats. I also want to mention quickly, even though this wasn't for, like, one of the major awards of the night, I wanted to mention Victoria Monet winning Video of the Year, because that was one of my favorite moments of the show, low-key. Like, it was so cute to see her win. And then she brought her mama on stage as well for winning the Video of the Year for All My Mama. I loved it. I just loved her speech. It was so chill and sincere, but so complete. Like, it was such a complete speech, like, you know, giving love to her team and the people who helped create the video, like all the people who like worked on the video, giving love to her, you know, Sean Bankhead for choreographing and really making it an iconic moment with that choreography, the dancers, and giving love to the dancer community, which is such an important thing to mention. Like, I really feel like we're at a time right now where dancers are really getting shafted with, like, their pay and, like, their appreciation within the industry. So I really loved how Victoria just, like, highlighted, like, how important dancers are to music videos, to her career, and just to the industry in general. So, because we need to be reminded, you know, they really are important to the industry. You know, she gave love to her daughter and her mom for being, like, you know, the best parts of the video as well. So yeah, I just love that speech. It was so cute. I just want to mention it. I love that speech. And her second award of the night. Amen. Next up was the final performance of the night, and that was Miss Lauryn Hill and her son YG Marley. Such a dope moment, one of the best performances of the night. They performed a medley of Lauren started out with the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and then she went into Lost Ones, and then YG Marley came out and did his songs. First he did Survival, and then he did Praise Jah in the Moonlight, the big hit that we all know. That performance was so lovely, and it really was arresting the whole way through. She and her son did such a good job together and separately, and it was so nice to just have like a conscious rap and like reggae moment on the show, because I feel like we didn't really get that throughout the whole show, besides Will Smith with his song, and I don't think we had really like a reggae moment throughout the show besides YG Marley. So I loved having like a reggae, another really beautiful like conscious rap moment on the show, which was much needed, and they both delivered in spades. And I just also loved, like, I didn't really realize it when I was watching it, but afterwards I was like, wow, like, this is history being made. Like, to see like a mother and son performing on the BET Award stage together, and like not like a mother and son where like the son is a nobody who like is the mother just invited him to be on the stage. Like, no, they're both artists, and they're both like being successful in their own regards. Like Lauryn Hill's the iconic Lauryn Hill, and then YG Marley, he's a young guy coming up now, but he's an artist himself, and like he has a hit out with Praise Jah in the Moonlight. Like, they're both artists, and they're mother and son, and they're both vibing on the stage together. Like, and not only that, but like they're also like in an iconic lineage. Like Lauryn Hill is an entity within herself, and then YG Marley is the grandson of Bob Marley, being the son of Rohan Marley. So it's like, bro, like all that iconic energy on stage, like woof, you know what I'm saying? Like that's history, like for real, that's history. So I love that. Woof. But yeah, it's really a shame that Lauryn Hill didn't end up making more music throughout the years, y'all, because she's such a one of one in music. Like, she's such a one of one, and I feel like you could even see that so many folks in the audience like didn't even low key know Lost Ones when she was doing it. Like, you didn't really see a lot of people been like, you might win some, but you really like you just lost one. Like I was at home like, hey, you just lost, but like a lot of people in the audience were just like. And it's a shame. You could tell like a lot over the years, like more and more people have become disconnected to her legacy and to her music because of all the years that have passed with her not having ever made like, music to keep the generations connected to her. Like, so it's a shame. Like, I'm a music head, so I know Lauryn Hill, but casual music fans are like piling up on her like that. And it's sad. And it's not really their fault because she's not put out anything since '98 like that, besides that little live album she put out a couple years afterwards. But, it's a shame she didn't really put out more music to just kind of keep her legacy going throughout the years. But that one album did more than most people do in their entire career, so it's all good, But yeah, so even though like a lot of people didn't really like know the words like that, the one thing that's so interesting is that you could tell like the energy in the room was just electric, and you could just tell that Lauryn Hill, like her presence, her musicality, her performance, it was just so electric that like even people that probably didn't know the song like that, they would just rock into her, and that speaks to her power, and that speaks to her, her how much of a magician she is in music. Like, she really is like just a Houdini. Like, she'll disappear, but when she comes back, people are locked in, and she's really a special entity, man. And can we talk about that breath control? Like, for her to be as old as she is now, all these years later, and that breath control is still something serious. Like, my girl Lauren, like, she might be late, but when she's on that stage, she gonna perform, and that breath control is crazy. Like, you can hear her so well, and she just be like, she performed for like what 10 plus minutes straight, and even by the end, breath control was still going crazy. Like, amazing. And then YG Marley, I want to talk about him too. He's such a wonderful presence on stage. He's such a chill guy. He gives very much like his grandfather, like just very chill, like, just singing. But yeah, I love his presence on stage. He has a very chill presence, but it's still felt with the wonderful tone. I love that tone of his. His tone is really unique and special. It's so light, but it's like it kind of sings to your heart. And it's resonant. It's really bright. I love his tone. It just feels good to hear. And that song is so nice. That Survival is cool, but Praise Jah in the Moonlight is a really nice song. That song is really nice, and it feels so classic already. So I really love that for him. And I can't wait to see more from him, and I'm looking forward to seeing, just what else he'll continue doing music as he gets older and continues on his, his family's legacy and Lauren's legacy as well as, as a mutual child of the Marley clan and the Lauryn Hill clan. Like, I love that for him. Like, all that talent in his bloodline, insane. But yeah, man. And then towards the end, Wyclef came out, with Lauren and YG to do a Fuji Live, and that was a moment when Wyclef Jean popped out, everybody was going crazy. Oh la la la, hey, like everybody was going crazy in the audience. It was so nice to see, and I wish that had been the energy throughout more of the show, early in the show, But yeah, man, it's a shame that Pras is locked up because that was a nice little, the Fugees reunion without Pras, but it is what it is. But yeah, Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean did their thing. YG to the side, supporting as well. Loved it. That was a nice little way to really just end the show on some iconic vibes with an iconic song, an iconic group that brings back a lot of memories for a generation. And they ate it up, so they did a good job. Shout out to Lauryn Hill, shout out to YG Marley, shout out to Wyclef. Great way to end the show. It was so iconic. I loved it. All right, y'all. So that was my thoughts on this year's show and all the performances. I'm gonna end off by just talking about the actual awards that were handed out. There were only a few that were handed out during the telecast, but I'm gonna go through all the awards that were handed out in case you wanted to know. Let's go through real quickly. Album of the year, I went to Killer Mike, who actually did win it during the telecast, and I love that. That was also one of my favorite moments of the show as well. Killer Mike's speech was everything. One thing about it, Killer Mike is always going to give us a moment, and he's always going to give us a message and a reminder for the people. So I loved his speech. I loved him winning. I love that for him because that Michael album is a great album. I know a lot of people wanted Victoria to win. I low-key did too, but I love that Michael won because Michael's a great album, and Killer Mike gave us a moment that we all needed. So I love that for him. Video of the year went to Victoria Monet for On My Mama, as she should have. Love that video. That video eats down. The Viewer's Choice Award went to Beyonce for Texas Hold'em. I'm not mad at Beyonce winning, but I'm surprised she won low key. We have On My Mama here. We have Rich Baby Daddy here. We have Water by Tyler here. We have Agora Hills by Doja Cat here. All My Life with Dirk and J. Cole. Fuck You Mean by Gunna. I'm kind of surprised that Texas Hold'em took it, but I love that song, so I'm not mad at it. Shout out to the viewers, all the viewers out there for choosing this one. But yeah, so shout out to Beyonce for winning another BET award. Best collaboration went to Lil Durk and J. Cole for All My Life. Love it. I'm not mad at it. A lot of great songs in this category. I'm not going to go through all of them. And I will say, I think out of everything here, this probably would have been my pick too. I also really love Good Good by Usher, Summer Walker, and 21 Savage. I love that record too. But yeah, All My Life probably would have been my choice too. So I'm not mad at that award. Best Male R&B Pop Artist went to Usher, as I knew he would take it. And I love to see a veteran like Usher win this award after all these years compared to all these young guys in this category. So I love that for him. He definitely deserved it. Definitely would be my pick as well. So love that for him. Best Female R&B Pop Artist, we have SZA winning, which is definitely not surprising at all. I know during the telecast, I was low-key rooting for Victoria Monet to win this category, but I knew she wouldn't because SZA has had an amazing 2022 and 2023. So not surprising. But I was rooting for Victoria, but I'm glad SZA won because SZA's had a great year. So not mad at it. I'm glad they didn't give it to Beyonce as a default because that would have been fucked up. For Best Female Hip Hop Artist, this is really interesting. They gave it to Nicki Minaj, which I'm not mad at, but I don't know. I mean, Nicki did have a good 2023, I guess. So I'm not mad at this. Yeah, I would have been cool with this either way. Honestly, I probably would have given it to Doja Cat. Yeah. I probably would have given it to Doja Cat, but I'm not mad they give it to Nicki because BET loves Nicki. The BET Awards love Nicki Minaj, so I'm not surprised. But I would have given it to Doja Cat. Or maybe Megan, But it's all good. Best Male Hip Hop Artist went to Kendrick Lamar, which is a little bit surprising because I feel like Kendrick has had somewhat of a quiet year in the past, besides, up until now with Not Like Us and all that. So I'm kind of surprised he won it. I don't know if it was based off of Not Like Us or other stuff because I feel like he had a quiet 2023. But that's one of my favorite rappers in the world, if not my favorite rapper in the world. So I'm happy for him because he's one of the best ever. So shout out to Kendrick. Shout out K-Dot for winning that award. And I don't understand why Burna Boy is in here. Burna Boy is not a rapper, yo. I don't know. It says hip hop artist, I guess, but whatever. Best New Artist went to Tyla, which is not surprising, as she should have. She deserved it. I would have loved, for Iris Star to take it as well, but Tyla definitely was the not most unsurprising winner of the year with this category for sure. She's had a fire year coming into the game, so this definitely was hers to lose. Best Group went to Ye and Ty Dolla $ign, which is okay, I guess. Vultures were cool. Vultures 1 was cool, but I don't know if this would have been my pick. I mean, I personally probably would have given it to Flo. But when you look at this lineup, I guess I'm not surprised that Ye and Ty Dolla $ign won. Shout out Kanye and Ty Dolla. Not surprising. But this is kind of a random category this year. Not a random category, but a category where I feel like anybody could win it. So not surprising that Kanye ended up taking it in the end. That's not surprising. And Ty Dolla $ign. Not surprising. The BET Her Award went to Victoria Monet for On My Mama. I love that. It's so fitting. Shout out to Victoria Monet for, giving the ladies their anthem last year. She gave ladies their bop, so I'm glad it won this award. I was also rooting for 16 Carriages by Beyonce because that's a beautiful record. But I'm glad On My Mama won that for sure. The Dr. Bobby Jones Best Gospel / Inspirational Award went to Thames for Me and You, which I thought was so interesting. Because Me and You released like a really, really interesting like R&B, Afrobeat gospel song. But it's not like a clear-cut gospel song. So I'm surprised it won, but I'm happy it did because I really love that BET kind of like, went in a different direction this year with this award. So I love that. Me and You is a great song. It's really a beautiful spiritual song that's not a clear-cut gospel record, but a really beautiful one. So I'm glad she won that. Shout out Thames for her first BET award, I think. Video Director of the Year went to Cole Bennett, which is cool. He's been doing a lot of work, so I'm not mad at this. I feel like this could have went either way for all these people. I'm surprised Thames is here. What video has Thames directed? Am I tripping? Shout out Thames. So Cole Bennett won that. Shout out to him. Best Movie went to Bob Marley One Love, which I'm cool with because I like that movie, even though it didn't get the best reviews, but I liked that movie. But yeah, I'm surprised Bob Marley One Love won. We have American Fiction here, which was nominated for Best Picture. We have, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Book of Clarence, The Color Purple, and The Little Mermaid. I honestly thought The Color Purple would win this because that had I feel like, that won a lot of awards at the NAACP Image Awards, But I guess Bob Marley One Love won, which I'm not mad at, but I'm surprised by. But I'm surprised The Color Purple didn't take that. But I like the Bob Marley movie, so I'll take it. Best Actor went to Denzel Washington. I'm not sure what Denzel has done that's been major in the past year, but that's Denzel, so why does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Who else would I have rooted for? I probably would have rooted for Coleman Domingo in this category, to be honest. Coleman Domingo had a fire 2023. I'm not going to hold you. Yeah, my vote would have been for Coleman, but it's all good. Best Actress, Regina King won this. Love that for her. We love Regina King down. A lot of great women in this category. Angela Bassett, Iola Debris, who I low-key thought probably would have won it, but it's okay. Coco Jones, Danielle Brooks. That's another one I thought could have won it as well. Halle Bailey. She had a great year as well with Mermaid and Color Purple. Yeah, so kind of surprised Regina won. Maybe she won for playing Shirley Chisholm. Maybe that's what it is. So we'll take it. She did a great job in that movie. But I'm kind of surprised they didn't give it to Iola Debris or Danielle Brooks or Halle Bailey. But it's all good. Shout out Regina. We love that for her. Sportswoman of the Year went to Angel Reese. That's not surprising. They also had Aja Wilson, Flau J. Johnson as well. They had Naomi Osaka, Sha'Carri Richardson, Simone Biles. So a lot of great women up in here. But I'm not surprised Angel Reese took it. Shout out to Angel Reese. Sportsman of the Year went to Jalen Brunson, which I'm not mad at. We also got, we got Gervonta Davis up in here, Jalen Hurts, Kyrie, LeBron, Patrick Mahomes, Steph Curry. So I'm kind of surprised Jalen took it compared to a lot of these other guys. I thought maybe they would have gave it to Mahomes, maybe, I don't know, maybe Braun. I don't know. Curry maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I thought they probably get it to Mahomes. But yeah, shout out Jalen Brunson. All good. Best International Act went to Tyla, South Africa. Not surprising. We love that for her. She's had a great year. Best New International Act went to Makadzi from South Africa. I've not heard of this person, but shout out to them. South Africa is on fire right now in both of these categories. The Young Stars Award went to Blue Ivy Carter, which is amazing. Shout out to Blue Ivy for winning this award. I'm trying to figure out what she's done recently besides being in her mama's movie, but, shout out to Blue Ivy. We also have, Jalen Hall here. Shout out to Jalen Hall, Demi Singleton, Akira Akbar, Van. Shout out to all these babies. But shout out to Blue Ivy for winning. And then Usher won the Lifetime Achievement Award, as y'all know. So those are all the awards that went out this year. Let me know what y'all think. If you want to look up the full nomination list and winners list, and if you have any beef with who won any award, let me know down below. I'd love to know. But all right, y'all, that was my review and my thoughts on this year's BET Awards. Let me know what y'all thought about the show down below. Did y'all love it? Did y'all hate it? Did y'all think it was okay? It could have been better in some places. Let me know. Let me know what you thought about all the performances. Let me know your favorite ones, your least favorite ones. Let me know what you thought about the Usher Tribute. Let me know what you thought about Will Smith popping up. Let me know what you think about, all the performances and, your ranking of them and what could have been better, what was done well, who presented, Taraji as the host, all the little segments they had. Let me give me all your thoughts on this year's awards down below. I appreciate y'all. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And go join my Patreon. Link below in the description. My Patreon, you get all my exclusive videos. It's popping. $3 a month. It's not that much. Go join and enjoy the vibes, okay? Appreciate y'all. Well, all right, y'all. This has been your boy Bright, the R&B Kid. Thank you for watching. But for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all. Peace.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, 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 no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, no, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just